Stop hyperextending your wrist. It's killing your form. This is Slingshot Disc Golf. Sling a like button. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is I have done a very poor job of relaying this information on YouTube. My explanations have been subpar. Today I'm going to try to recorrect that, give a better explanation of the wrist and arm extension so that you can avoid some of these mistakes. Okay, so when it comes to the wrist, your arm is loose. Your wrist is loose even if you're gripping it hard. So you have some mobility there and you have some bounce. For myself in the way I extend, I get to here and I get a little bit of bounce from there to there. So at most, I'm going straight. What you don't want to do, and what I see a lot of people do, is hyperextend your wrist, open the wrist. And a lot of people, based on genetics, I've seen where their elbow will like pop out as well, right? Really, really hyperextend. My arm can't really do that. So when it comes to the wrist and full extension, my main thing is to not keep it stiff. If you keep it stiff, you might lose some of that mobility or some of that bounce. At the end of the day, you do whatever feels good, right? Because if anything hurts at all, no matter who you're listening to, don't do it. But when it comes to full extension, right there, and then it comes back. So now I want to talk about full extension. I just made that Ricky Wysocki video where I talk about how he has maybe another level he can get to, maybe small another level, whatever the case may be. I look at things differently if he were to fully extend his arm. Now, full extension, what I mean by that, when I say the word extension, that is the extending and the stretching of your back muscle. Because if you're slinging the disc right, I don't care if you're doing what a pros are doing or not, but if you're doing the slingshot method, that back muscle should be what's sore after a really long day of throwing distance drivers in the field, because you're getting that sling effect through the back. And you want that to be a constant motion thing. You want that to be a stretch shortening cycle thing from a science perspective. If you think about squatting, you don't go down and hold. If you go down and hold and then you go up, it's not going to be as easy if you go down and give yourself a little bounce, right? So that's kind of that stretch shortening cycle I'm talking about. And when you are extending, okay, now I'm stretching that muscle, and then I stop, I stiffen my arm. Now I'm stopping that stretch and I'm hanging there for a while, then I land and I don't get to have that nice bounce back from the back. So I'm gonna, most likely for most people, arm the disc more, right? So when you get to here and you keep going, you keep fully extending your arm without hyperextending, well, you continue to stretch that back. And then when you get the foot down first before full extension, then you get that really nice sling effect timing to get the most effortlessness out of your form. When it comes to backhand form, my intense opinions are on the legs. I believe the legs should be a certain way. I'm way more strict. But when it comes to the upper body, whatever feels good. Ultimately, and this is the real reason I started a YouTube channel, is if you are unsatisfied with your form or miserable, all the details that I teach are designed to get you out of that rut. Because I'll tell you this, when you are not satisfied with your form is bad, you can't hit distances you know you're capable of, it's miserable. It sucks, it's crappy, and it can make you feel really low inside depending on how intense you are, right? And I know a lot of people that, I mean, you start really hating yourself and you start having all these negative emotions because you want it so bad, and having that feeling sucks. It really does. And all these things are designed to get you out of that. Slingshots for everybody.